New year, new you? Nah, we don't do that shit here. Let's break the cycle. Today is all about breaking the cycle of New Year mistakes. Every January, we set out with these amazing intentions, big goals, fresh motivation. Maybe you've got a fresh new outfit from Christmas. But let's be real, by February, many of us are already stuck. We're frustrated, completely off track. Do any of those sound familiar? Maybe you're not the February person. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm feeling good. But by March or April, you're like, oh my gosh. Honestly, you're not alone. In today's episode, we are cutting through the noise and getting straight to the heart of why so many people struggle with staying on track in their fitness and New Year's resolutions. I am going to walk you through the 10 most common mistakes that might be sabotaging your progress. And more importantly, I am going to share actionable strategies to avoid these pitfalls so you can finally break the cycle and actually crush your goals this year. But before we dive into the juicy details, I want to kick things off with just a little bit of gratitude. I have got to share this amazing 5-star review from Lifter of Heavy Things because honestly, every review of this podcast just makes my day. It makes me feel so happy and makes me feel like I'm actually like showing up for people. So thank you. I appreciate it. She said, I absolutely love this podcast. I found Tara when I started strength training last year, and I've been following her on social media ever since. I'm in my 30s and have 2 little kids, and Tara was just so refreshing to listen to and follow on Instagram. She's so real, inspiring, and her energy really resonates with me. I've learned so much from this podcast, and not just about working out. She helped me fall in love with lifting heavy things, and honestly, can't imagine ever stopping. It's changed my life. Oh, I love this so much because if there's one thing I want to do in this lifetime, it's get every woman lifting heavy shit. It inspires everything that I do. It inspired my app broads, and that is what I want to do. That is what I set out in this world to do. Okay, let's dive into it. Get ready to make this year the one where your goals finally stick. Grab a notepad because you're going to want to take notes on this. Or maybe you just write it in your notes in your phone. I don't know. You do whatever notes feel best for you. Mistake number 1, you treat January like it's a magic reset button. It's like an on-off switch. January 1st, the day we look at it like it's a magic wand, everything will be easier on January 1st. But spoiler alert, it's not. It's just another day. And this year, it's even on a Wednesday. So definitely not the magical reset we were hoping for. If you have struggled before, flipping the calendar to a new year is not going to make it suddenly get easier. I get it. There is excitement about starting fresh. I love starting new things. Although I will say there is an excitement about starting fresh, but everyone resists change. So if we actually put those together, they would be very contradictory. But there is excitement. It's a new year. It's a fresh start. It's like a new leaf, even though it's just a calendar flip. That's all it really is. Things will not magically change just because the year does. Just like things don't necessarily change the day you turn a different age. When somebody asks you, how does it feel to be 35? I'm like, the same as it did when I was 34 yesterday. You need to stop expecting that everything will just click because the clock strikes midnight. Which, who's even up until midnight at this point anyway? Or is that just me showing my 35 years of age? You can instead get ready for the challenge because real change takes effort, dedication, and commitment and showing up even when it feels so tough to do so. There will be days when you just don't feel like it, but consistency is what makes the difference. Don't wait for magic because, baby, you are the magic. There's got to be a song in there somewhere. Commit to yourself no matter what. Mistake number 2, you set super vague resolutions. I'm sure you've heard of SMART goals. Smart, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. I've set those 2 before. We all know what a SMART goal is, but we're still out there saying, I want to lose weight. I want to be strong. I want to wake up earlier. What does all that actually mean? They're so vague, and it's so hard to create a roadmap to success when you have no actual goal in mind. So I want to get stronger is nice, but does that mean that you're lifting heavier weights? Does that mean you're doing more reps? Does that mean you're accomplishing a specific goal, like a pull-up or a pistol squat? To actually achieve your goals, you need clarity. And that means defining what you want with precision. You have to set goals that are specific, measurable, and tied to actionable steps. So here's an example, just an example. You can have any example that you like. This is just a random one that I feel like I hear all the time when it comes to New Year's resolutions. I want to lose weight. Okay, well, what about if we say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 4 months by strength training 3 times a week and eating whole foods, or eating mindfully and intuitively, or setting a specific protein goal. Do you see the difference? Now that you have the what, losing that weight, you have the how, strength training and nutrition attached to it, and you also have a time. You have a 4-month time. This gives you direction, and it also makes your goals a lot more attainable. So when your goals are clear and specific, it's easier to create a plan, stay motivated, and measure progress. And that is what leads to success. So right now, just pause this and write down a goal and make it fucking specific. Make it specific. I'm going to tell you right now that my goal this last year, I had 3 of them and I only accomplished 1. And that is okay. I am okay with that. Actually, no, I accomplished 2. I accomplished 2 of them. But the third one was to learn Spanish. And I said, I want to be fluent in Spanish by the time I hit 35, which was June, halfway through the year. And I was like, fluent in Spanish by the time in 6 months, like I was barely beginner level. I didn't set up for myself for success. And I didn't have these actionable goals set in stone. So I'm going to rethink all of that as I get into my goals for this next year. They have to be specific. They have to be actionable. They have to have a plan, which is mistake number 3. You do not have a plan. Without a goal, without a plan, is just a wish. I wish to be fluent in Spanish. That was my wish. Like, it was just thrown out to the universe. I did not have a plan because, let's be real, wishes don't get things done. This is a huge problem. If you do not have a clear plan in place, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's when people come to me and say, why would I do this? Why would I do something if I know I'm going to fail? Well, number 1, with that mindset, you probably are. But number 2, it's because you don't have a plan set in stone. Without a strategy, you'll find yourself wandering aimlessly. It's like going to the gym without a plan. People will be like, what can I do at the gym? Go with a plan. If you go into the gym and you have no idea what you're doing because you're not following a plan or a program like Broad's, you're going to feel like shit, to be honest with you, especially if you're a beginner, even an intermediate lifter. If you have nothing in mind, it's not going to go the way you want it to go. Here's what usually happens. You start with this excitement, you have motivation, and then when things feel tough, or you don't see any progress, or you don't see any results, or it just feels slow, you get burned out and totally give up. That's because there is no path guiding you forward. So let's do this. Let's break down your goal into smaller, more actionable steps. Because again, if you've know me or listened to me in any sort of capacity over the past year or so of podcasting and decade of being online, you know that I am all about slow, small, sustainable habits that can change over time. So what are the key habits you need to adopt to get there? So let's just use that losing weight example. Maybe you have 3 steps that will get you to that weight loss. You are going to consistently get 3 workouts in a week. Notice how I didn't say 7. Notice how I didn't say 5 or 6. 3 workouts a week. So maybe it's drinking more water every day, but that is vague. So we have to figure out what that actual thing is. So what's your baseline? How much water are you drinking a day? Don't judge yourself. Just say, okay, maybe it's 32 ounces. That sucks, but let's make it better. So more water is 40 ounces. That's 8 more ounces a day. Awesome. That is our new average. Incorporating more whole foods into meals. That could be another actionable goal that you have. What does that actually mean? Okay, maybe you have a vegetable at every meal. Maybe you have it at 2 out of the 3 meal. Set actionable, manageable steps that can lead to bigger progress over time. When you break your goal into clear actions, it's so much easier to stay on track. It's so much better and more accomplished when you have these smaller things that you can check off. So don't just wish for success. I wish to be fluent in Spanish. Make a plan and stick to it. Mistake number 4, expecting instant results. We live in a world that you can get everything instantly. I just had to pause this podcast because an Amazon truck came by and opened our garage and closed it. Because it was too loud, I had to pause. We ordered it last night. It comes way too fast. Prime shipping. It's DoorDash delivered to your door. Fitness is not and will never be Amazon Prime. It will never be. I mean, unless you have millions of dollars and you go to a plastic surgeon, but even then you still have to wait for the recovery. No, fitness is not Amazon Prime. You cannot get your body, your dream body in 2 days. It takes time, consistency, and effort. And I know this is going to sound silly, but I promise when you focus less on aesthetics and more about how you feel and getting strong AF, the aesthetics will come afterwards. But true progress takes time. And many people quit when they don't see these changes over time because they think that they've hit this like massive plateau, or it's just not working for them. Like, this thing doesn't work for me. But really, you've given yourself like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. Like, that's not enough time. So how can we do this differently? We can reframe our mindset. So instead of solely focusing on the scale or those physical changes, look at what you're gaining on the inside, baby, because the inside is so much more than the outside. Are you feeling stronger physically? Are you more energized throughout the day? Do you sleep better at night? These are all huge wins and signs of progress, even if they aren't visible on the outside yet. So celebrate those small victories. It's like hitting your workout goals for the week because those matter. And you can celebrate them in so many different ways. I have clients that like to go on a walk if they've hit, around the block if they've hit their workout, or they get a latte out, or they put $5 in their Venmo account. And then at the end of the week, that $5 goes into their savings, or they get to spend it on a certain something. Like, give yourself these external motivations to keep you going. Fitness is not a race. These small victories are actually, in the grand scheme of things, so much more valuable than this big thing. Fitness is not a race. It's a marathon. I mean, I guess it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, but it's even longer than that. It's a 100-mile race. I don't know how people do that. That is crazy to me. So don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight. Focus on the process, and the results will come when you stay consistent. Consistency is your word of the year. Consistency. Number 5, this hurts my heart every time I see it. Falling for quick fixes. We have all seen it. We've seen it. We've probably done it. I did the lemonade diet when I was 23. What? These shiny quick fixes that we see on social media or that we see anywhere that promise like these rapid weight loss or rapid perfect body in no time. Matter of fact, I was at the mall the other day, and there was a store that was a 60-second facelift in a bottle. And it was literally just this guy like putting this stuff on your face, and he's like, look, it's 60 seconds facelift. Quick fixes like fad diets or extreme workout plans are just unsustainable. You and I both know that, but people still keep doing it because you get to a point where you just want it to change. And I get it. But you and I both know that stuff doesn't actually ever work. Maybe it works in the quick interim, very quickly. But then after that, you feel worse. You always feel worse than how you felt before you actually did that quick thing. You jump into these short-term solutions, but because they are so unrealistic or so restrictive, you're going to give up so much faster. And then you feel frustrated because you don't see results fast enough. And that leads to quitting altogether because it, quote, doesn't work for me, or this is not going to work for me. Success is not about finding shortcuts. It's about building long-lasting habits. It's annoying. I know. Trust me. I know it's annoying. Instead of focusing on instant results, focus on commitment to the process. True success comes from consistent action over time. You have to trust that these small, everyday decisions you make, whether it's showing up for a workout, choosing a healthy meal, going for a walk, they will lead to long-term progress. And most importantly, you have to build a system that works for your lifestyle. If a diet or fitness plan or workout plan or anything that you are in, and it doesn't actually sit with your lifestyle, it is not going to work. No matter how hard you try, it is not going to work. The progress might be slow, but as long as you keep moving forward, that is still progress. Even maintenance is progress. Mistake number 6. You are going too hard too fast. It is so easy to get excited about the new year and want to overhaul your entire life. I've done it. Of course I've done it. And not just in the fitness and wellness. I've done it in the financial side of things. I've done it in clothing and fashion. I'm like, I'm going to get rid of everything. Or I'll say something like, I'm not going to spend any money at all this year. What? No. You might be super motivated at first, but pushing yourself too hard will only lead to fatigue, frustration, and again, quitting. So when it comes to fitness, more is not always better. The key to long-term is consistency. You're going to hear that word from me all year. If you cannot see yourself following a plan for the next year, realistically, if you can't follow it for a full year, then maybe it's not the plan for you. What is actually maintainable? Start small. Instead of committing to 5 workouts a week, begin with 2. This is why I created Broads, because Broads has 2, 3, and 4 times a week frequency, because 4 times is a perfect and incredible amount to see progress. And 2 times is a really, really, really great place to start. If you can do 2 times a week for 4 weeks in a row, you can add a third. If you can do 3 times for 8 weeks in a row, you can add a fourth. And if you can do 4 for 3 months at a time, you can add your cardio of your choice. But you don't need to do any more than that. The truth is, if you can consistently do 2 workouts a week for an entire year, it's going to give you far better results than doing 4 weeks of 4 workouts and then burning out. Consistency is what builds momentum, not a big initial push. You're going to see 2 times a week on your calendar and be like, this isn't enough. But I want you to realize that it is enough. I want you to realize that doing that is progress. Take it slow. Build foundation. We've got to get that solid foundation, and then we can add on it. Number 7, you are getting overwhelmed by the bigger picture. The big goal. The big goal is a pull-up. The big goal is losing 20 pounds. The big goal is running a marathon or lifting a certain weight. This can seem very overwhelming, especially if it is a bigger goal than what you've set out to do before. It is so easy to get focused on that distant end result that you forget to enjoy the journey and you feel discouraged, maybe how far away it seems. Instead of constantly thinking about that end result, focus on these small, manageable wins that help you motivated and make you feel like the progress is actually achievable. This is where micro goals come into play. I love micro goals. I actually love personally checking things off on a list. That's one of my favorite things to do is like, oh, check, did it. But we can't check off marathon until we check off find training program, find a coach, start the plan, hit every long run on Saturdays, get shoes, get outfits, meet running buddies on Saturday. Like there's so much to it, right? If we can use this example on a smaller scheme, week 1 can be focus on drinking 64 ounces of water a day. Week 2, if we can do that for a week, we add in 2 workouts a week. Month 1 can then be mastering a new lift, hitting a new running distance, joining Broads and see your progress over time. These micro goals, they don't just keep you motivated, but they also allow you to see that progress over time. They allow you to see how far you've come. And if we focus on these micro goals, we can actually build momentum without getting bogged down by this massive, daunting picture of need to do this big thing. Number 8, you are probably not tracking your progress. Now, if you're not tracking your progress, how exactly do you know how far you've come? This is why I am such a big fan of videos of yourself in the gym. I love tracking things. Obviously, the tracking is a huge part of the Broads app. You can simply add in your weights. We save them all for you. You can see your progress over time. Anytime you're in that exercise, you can see the weights you last used. It's super cool to see. But I also personally love videos of your form so you can see it over time. I am actually so mad at myself that I don't have more videos of when I first started because I was so embarrassed, or I just was like, this is stupid to actually film myself. And now I can't see how far I've come. It's easy to feel like you're not making progress if you're not keeping track of your efforts. Tracking your results is not just about stepping on the scale. It's about understanding and celebrating every other victory as well. Or just instead of. Start by tracking more than your weight. Weight's not even it's so totally optional in the Broads app. But I want you to keep a journal, use an app like Broads to record things like your workouts. We have notes in every exercise so you can put your energy levels and how you felt. Maybe one side is stronger than the other. That's why we have that notes function. Did you increase your weight on your squats? Celebrate that. Are you feeling more energized throughout the day? That is progress. And here's the thing. The non-scale victories are so much more valuable and important than the scale victories. These are moments that show you that you are truly transforming. And even if the scale doesn't budge, maybe your clothes fit better, maybe you have better endurance through your workouts, or maybe you just feel better in your confident body. Remember, progress is progress on the scale or not. Number 9, you are just guessing on what to do. This kind of goes along with the plan, with not having a plan, but this is specifically for fitness. You're just finding random workouts or diets that often lead to frustration. Maybe you'll go into the gym and don't actually know what you're doing. Maybe you saved someone's Instagram video because you were like, oh yeah, I want my legs to be so sore the next day, so I'm going to do this. Like, that is not a way to see progress. Without clear direction, it is so hard to see meaningful progress. So you have to get a plan that is based on science, not guesswork, and invest in a program that gives you clear roadmap and a proven strategy, aka the Broads app. We are a structured, science-backed approach to fitness with clear goals and step-by-step plan. And each month focuses on making sure that you're progressing over time. This is actually the perfect time to jump in, if I do say so myself. Mistake number 10, you are not addressing your common hurdles. Everyone has these hurdles in the way. They could be different for everyone, but busy schedules happen, life happens, kids take a lot of your life, lack of motivation, social pressures, holidays, travel, work. Instead of reacting to these hurdles when they appear, we can anticipate them and we can plan ahead. So for example, if you are someone that is short on time all the time, you have to have some quick at-home workouts ready. If you struggle with motivation, you're going to schedule your workouts with a friend or set reminders. I'm going to suggest more of the friend, or going to a class, or meeting someone, or going with a personal trainer so you actually get there. Here's another one. If work runs late, shift your workout to the morning or during lunch. And you can anticipate these common hurdles, and having a plan in place will make it so much easier to stay on track, because these hurdles are always going to be there. You have to decide which hurdles you are going to come up against, because they're going to be there. It's not going to go perfect to plan. Trust me on that one. So right now, you can think of those hurdles that you know that are going to come up anyway. So you have a plan set in stone. You are a badass broad ready to go. Okay, I'm going to recap the 10 mistakes you are going to avoid to get fit in the new year and stick fucking with it. We are no longer new year, new you. We are breaking the cycle. We are making sustainable, small changes, healthy habits, being a badass. Biatch. Mistake number 1, you treat January 1st like it's a magic reset button. It's not. Mistake number 2, you set super vague resolutions. Nope, none of that here. Smart goals, realistic. Number 3, you have no clear plan. Nah, not this time. Number 4, you're expecting instant results. Amazon Prime, no more. You know that's not real. Number 5, falling for quick fixes. Do not buy that detox tea, that waist trainer. Absolutely not. Number 6, going too hard too fast. Girl, stop with the 6 workouts a week, 5 workouts a week. No. Number 7, you're getting too overwhelmed by the big picture. This big picture, our life is not a movie. Slow things down. Number 8, you're not tracking progress. Write it down, voice it out, video yourself. Number 9, you're just guessing what to do. You know that's not going to help. And number 10, you're not addressing your common hurdles. Everyone has them. Write them down right now. We're getting past those because we already have a plan. We know exactly what we're about to do. Broads will help you stay on track. This community is badass. We are here to keep you accountable. We are here to make sure that you're progressing. And it's something that you can follow along with. It is something that you know exactly what you're getting into. We are here to help you on your fitness and wellness journey and also help you stop making choices that make you feel shitty. Broads is here to make you feel badass, confident, and motherfucking strong. Thanks for listening. Happy New Year!